Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jack. So every season I get asked what my main is, and I also use it as an opportunity to talk about my plans for the incoming season. As many of you probably know, I main Priest, and I've main Priest, gosh, for such a long time. Ever since I got my first cutting edge 80414, that's August 4th in 2014 for those Europeans out there, where I had my first cutting edge. Actually, initially as a rogue, and then immediately afterwards, I re-rolled to Priest, and ever since, I've gotten every single cutting edge on Priest. I spent a good amount of time playing on EU as well, where I got like the UNOT achievements, a lot of BFA achievements, but it's really been Priest from the beginning of my content creation journey, and that's not going to be changing going into Season 2, because I anticipate Disc and Holy to do insanely well in the new raid, and also, I do anticipate Disc doing crazy good work in a Mythic Plus environment once again. So we will be, of course, writing our guides for Wowhead, for Holy, and for Disc, but that's not the only thing I'm really going to be doing in Season 2. I played a wealth of alts in Season 1, and I initially started up with playing my Priest as per usual. We got up to 3645, and I think we ended up in the top 10 for healers in the region. Huzzah! Got our 0.1% title and everything like that wrapped up. And we finished our raid progression, I want to say World 45? Let's see. 15 weeks ago was October 30th. So, World 48th. There we go. So we finished the raid World 48th with Hall of Fame, all that other fun stuff. And I think we can absolutely crack top 40 in the world for this next incoming raid. I think there was a few times where we kind of like missed opportunities. And in fact, we actually ended up kind of sucking early on in Prague. We finished Nexus Princess 80th, and then we clutched up and then finished 55th with Silken Court and then 48th on Anzarek. So we clutched up in the end, but I kind of wish we didn't slide as much there. So hoping more for the future. I also played a lot of alts, and initially it was actually not the monk, it was the shaman. I started off with this season with Shaman because everybody was thinking it was going to be super powerful, and I kid you not, I could like not get into groups, even with people I'd played with for a long time, unless I was playing my Shaman at the start of the expansion. It was wild. I don't think I'd actually ever experienced anything like that, so for those of you who've had to experience getting denied to groups and stuff, I feel your pain. I absolutely do. Because my Shaman was just pumping at the beginning of the expansion. It was very much pumping at the beginning of the expansion. And so I ended up playing that, and I kind of lost interest after a while. Farseer never really panned out in the way I enjoyed it, and it almost felt like you got like capped in your overall output with Shaman. And so I kind of put it down once I got it pretty well geared, and I started playing first initially Paladin, as that was the other alt I was going to really manage. I got 6 of 8 on him as I brought him to some alt runs and everything with my guild, and we almost got to 3K. Got pretty close. I'll take it. I really enjoyed playing like Lightsmith, AC, Brain AFK, and just start smashing buttons and everything like that to do big healing. Really enjoyed it. Had a super fun time. And unfortunately, I feel like I might not be playing that much Paladin going into the new season as one of my alts. I feel like they've kind of left Paladin behind, and honestly, Shaman as well. I feel like they've kind of just stagnated going into Season 2. And so I don't think I'm going to be playing either Paladin or Shaman as much. I really picked up playing Monk quite a lot after the 05 changes, where the Jade Lightning, Jade Empowerment was coming along, and your Lightning could do huge damage and tons of healing. So I brought him to some alt runs, got him 5 of 8, and then we got to 3228, which I think is probably going to be a little short on the title range, as I think the title range is going to be somewhere around like 33 and change, maybe 3,400 and change. So I got pretty far, and I was happy with it. I'd like to get title on 2 characters, but as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, when the meta is like so tight, it's very difficult to get your character in to some of like the higher level groups to just get the score and get the IO and everything like that. So, and of course that trickles down to everybody else. But I had a lot of fun with Monk, and I still anticipate playing lots of Monk going into the next season, as it'll primarily be my like main alt, I think, for split runs and for like high-end keys. While I didn't quite hit the goal I wanted to with my Mistweaver, I think I'm going to try to redouble my efforts and work on hitting title on Mistweaver again. Hopefully the meta is going to be a little bit less punishing onto that one. I think it's the all runs leaderboard, and then we can go see like 15s and up. There's kind of like 70% of the population being disc priest, which certainly didn't help out too terribly much. But I'm hoping that like Monk can also get a momentum, because I feel like Monk's a lot better than Resto Shaman in like right now, season 1, end of the season type stuff. And it was a lot of like momentum that carried Shaman forward until disc kind of blotted out the sun. So we'll see. I hope that disc can get a lot of momentum getting going into it. But that also leaves me with my initial goal at the beginning of the expansion, that I want to create a lot of guide content for all the healers, and I still do. I do plan on making as many healer guides as I possibly can, just in general, so get ready for those. Don't want to promise too much, but I'm going to try to do as much as possible. And I'd like to be hitting title on Mistweaver as well as my priest for next season. And I'd also like to play another healer. And that's where I don't feel like Paladin's progressing. I don't feel like Resto Shaman's progressing or getting like developed further when it comes to healers. And so that kind of leaves me with two options. And I feel like it might be time. I feel like it might actually just be time for me to bust out the Resto Druid again. Resto Druid Tay Swiftmend I initially had for a 0 to hero challenge, like in the most dead part of like season 3 in Dragonflight. And I did the 0 to hero challenge, renamed the character, all of that other fun stuff, and geared it up, started playing it. And one of the things I did was try to like push through the gearing as fast as I possibly could, so that I could start doing like 10s and 12s and more challenging keys and all this other fun stuff. This expansion, I literally leveled it and then have done nothing with it. And so I feel like it actually might be a lot of fun to try to take this fresh out of Dragonflight character, basically, go into season 2, do a rename so people don't know who it is, and then actually see how far I can push. I very much doubt I'm going to be getting to title level unless Resto Druid suddenly becomes a god or something. But I would like to see if I could reach this guy to 3K, just straight up pugging it, and then bring you guys along for the adventures along the way. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to hide the name forever, so we might do a couple name changes to kind of keep it fresh. But this is something that, one, I've really been enjoying how our Druid plays. Now that Mastery is not awful for it, you can have like 1 or 2 hots on a target and actually do good regrowth healing onto them. When I've been playing on PTR, it actually feels like it's fairly fluid and does excellent damage and can actually respond to some of the burst damage a lot better than it was at the start of the expansion or beta when I was playing it last. So I love a lot of the improvements. Hyped about a lot of those improvements. And I also feel like my usual like comfort characters in Paladin and Shaman just kind of haven't been doing it for me. So maybe I'll revisit them, as obviously I geared 4 characters in season 1. I could always add another when I want to. I know I still have Prez waiting in the wings as well, if I want to start playing more of that, if it starts popping off. So I'll keep an eye out for it. But I think at the moment, Resto Druid might be my 3rd character, might be my incognito character that we play in some more. So if you see a character and recognize that it's my name and everything, don't rat me out in any of those groups. But also, I want to know what you think might be missing from a lot of content creators' perspective, when I'm very used to doing lots of high-end content and sharing my experiences. But what do you think that I might miss ordinarily that I would pick up on when I'm playing a super dirt level alt and bringing it up from, really the ground up? What do you think I might miss on a journey to potentially be getting that Keystone Legend, that 3K, that new title for getting those 12s done, and what I should be highlighting? But that's it. That's kind of just my plans for the incoming season. You can expect all kinds of healer content coming around the corner very soon, but we might be dark for a little bit as I get everything rolling. Thank you so much for all the patrons, for all the support, and really for allowing this to continue happening as we have been rolling, and I cannot wait until the season gets started. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'll catch y'all next time.